mistakenly thought I was involved in leadership training. And leadership training is for most people a 2-day offsite or a self-paced class or something that you have to do. And there's so much research that says that the vast majority of leadership training money is completely wasted, that it does not involve actual long-term change. And what I built with Jim Prinzing was something that was tailor-made to change behavior. Like there's 5 major variables in training that helps it either drive or not drive change in behavior. If it's all mental, a 2-day offsite, data, you're not going to change your behavior. It's got to be dripped out an hour a week with it, and then the rest of the week is practicing the one thing you just learned. And you learn in front of your peers, and then you come back and you recap in front of your peers what you learned practicing it. And the practice of the behavior generates the proof that it works. So you don't believe me, you believe yourself. That's like 3 or 4 of the variables that are baked in. And so it's a behavior change system. It's not leadership training. And then you don't even do that because no one wants to buy that. What they want to buy is new results. So what I'm now looking at is simply selling a 1-year transformation project that happens to involve upskilling all of your managers to be awesome leaders. But the result is the improved organizational behavior. And this is all predicated. I'm going to ask Jeffrey to participate here for a second because Mark, I did this to you last time. Think of the best boss you ever had, and Mark gets to do this a second time. Think of the best boss you ever had. You loved them. You'd go back to work for them in a heartbeat. You wish all your bosses were like that. You wish you could be like that when you're a boss. The person who got the most out of you and you had the most growth and the most challenge, and it was, oh my God, it was the most amazing thing. Who's that for you, Jeffrey? First name?
Jerry.
Jerry. Okay. I now know 3 things about Jerry because you've named him. Jerry almost certainly was pretty steady, calm in a crisis, tended toward empathy and curiosity, didn't fly off the handle, didn't get blamey, didn't finger point. If you brought him bad news, Jeffrey would say, oh, interesting, as opposed to who's to blame, right? Is that fair? Is that a fair characterization?
Yeah.
Okay.
First
thing I know. This is a great party trick, by the way. Second thing I know about him is that Jeffrey took the time to get to know every single one of his direct reports in excruciating detail, knew their families, knew their strengths and weaknesses, knew their career aspirations, and actually cared about them as humans. They weren't cogs in a machine to him. Is that about right?
Yep, that is correct.
Okay. Third thing I know is he loved excellence and cared about excellence and would push people out of their comfort zone, would use that knowledge he'd gathered and that trust he'd built and the kind of the safety he created from the first 2 things I described to push people into their best work beyond what they thought they could do, gave them responsibility before they thought they were quite ready. And if they did second-rate work, he'd give it back to them and say, dude, this is second-rate. I know you can do better. Go do better. And would challenge the team. And you're nodding to that as well.
I'm going to interrupt you, but when you asked me to think about this person, I actually went to why, and I put cared about me, cared about my growth, and then as you were talking, making me excellent, pushed me to do things out of my comfort zone. The only one I didn't get was steady in crisis. So that was interesting.
Okay.
But I would agree with that as well.
The third one, probably not as exact as the first 2, but still mostly correct.
Okay, and if you'd been better at that, he would have been an even better boss.
Exactly.
Right? Because no one has to be perfect, you have to be good enough. So here's the insight that drives my work. And you should be seeing a thing on screen right now.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. That this first element is called the sage mind or self-command. It is being steady, curious, empathic, and creating psychological safety are the preconditions for it. And then building strong relationships of trust and high engagement, and then driving clear expectations, high accountability, and growth. And if you have only 2 of these, any 2 of these is insufficient. Only when all 3 are present do you have this experience that you each had of having an amazing boss who got the most out of you and helped the team grow. And oh my God, I would love to do that again. So then my question is, if we could make all of your managers be that good, what would that do to your company?
Obviously, it'd be very positive.
Wouldn't that be neat? Well, it turns out I can train this. It takes me 7 weeks to deliver Sage Mind. It takes me about 4 weeks to deliver the relating skills and about 5 to deliver the requiring, followed by the balance of that's about 18 weeks, followed by the remainder of the year monitoring, coaching, checking in, and making sure that the behaviors are all landing properly and sticking. And the outcome that I'm selling is a massively improved organization built on the massively improved skills of the least developed group we have, which is the management cadre. Most people are never trained to be managers, or they're trained very poorly and spottily.
Yeah, I think that you highlighted what the best example of what a manager is in our lifetimes, and getting at those core attributes is certainly a worthy endeavor.
And the nice thing is, once you see it, you can't unsee it. And then once you go, oh, those are learnable skills, it's like, yeah, absolutely. And I have, over the past 20 years, been figuring out what the skill set is, what's necessary versus not necessary, what order to teach them in for best effect, and how to make sure they land no matter what kind of a personality the person has coming in. Because a lot of folks, they're great at the relating, and they don't need a lot of help there, but they're terrible at requiring. They have a story in their head that, oh, if I require anything, it'll hurt the relationship. No, it makes it better. Or they're all requiring and they're no relating. It's like, touchy-feely. We haven't got time for that. This is business. And they burn people out and drive people away. And the only people who stick around are equally transactional cactuses who are, dry and prickly and sweatshop dwellers. I feel very gratified that 24 years of beavering away on this problem has borne the fruit that it has, because it took me the first 12 years to even understand the problem space well enough to begin to articulate the solution. And then I had to cherry pick out, the best training I could find from other people, like how to give feedback properly, how to hold a one-on-one meeting the best way, like what does the research say? By the way, the best way to do one-on-ones for your subordinates, 30 minutes, once a week, scheduled. The subordinate speaks first and you take notes. And I think it might be a sixth point, but if you do that reliably, you'll typically see an 18 to 20% uplift in performance just from that.
Wow.
And the nice thing about that practice is it gives you a container inside of which to do the asking, listening, coaching, encouraging activities that we teach in the skill set of that second bucket. Because it's one thing to have the listening skills, but how do you know you're doing it enough? And the answer is a weekly one-on-one gives you that space. And it does amazing, like your email volume drops, your delegation of power goes up. People stop interrupting you with problems because they know they can talk to you in a couple of days anyway, and it's not that urgent. And then by the time the meeting shows up, they've already fixed it themselves.